Hi everybody! So today we are going to be doing the gummy bear lab. It looks like this. Okay. And then you print along the short edge, not the long edge. So print along the short edge, not the long edge. Otherwise yours will end up like mine where you flip the page and it's upside down. Okay, so keep that in mind. If that's too difficult, then don't even print it double-sided. And if you don't have a printer, don't print it. You don't have to print this. All you have to do is you can read it digitally and then you can write on your notebook. And so like with this one, if I was to take this to my notebook, I would say step 1, make observations. And then I would draw 4 squares. It doesn't have to be decorative squares, but 4 squares. And then I would do what I'm going to do on here in my notebook. So no need to worry about that. Okay, so I got a lot set up here so far, but I'm still setting up. So it shows on the lab that the steps for the experiment, what we will need baking soda, vinegar, water, salt, clear cups, and gummy bears. Our steps are to put 50 milliliters of water in 3 different cups. Okay, so I put 50 milliliters of water in this cup, and I will turn it down so you can see the ground in a second. I put 50 milliliters of water in this cup, but then I already added my 2 tablespoons of baking soda to it, and then I've been stirring it. Okay, and then here's my 50. Oh, that's way more than 50. Good news. Now I can disperse my water because I learned that 50 milliliters, when you're reading it from the back, is actually 150. So, good news. Okay. Milliliters of water. And then, okay, so what I did is I poured my baking soda water. I need to label these. I poured my baking soda water into a new cup so that way I didn't have so much excess. And my Sharpie so I can label these. Actually, I'm going to use an expo marker. Okay, that says bake soda. That one is just plain water. That one's plain water. And that's the rest of my water because I haven't added anything else. Okay, so I do know that I have one that is just plain water. So I'm going to set that off to the side. I need to move this over. There we go. Okay. And then this will be vinegar. And this one is salt water. Pour my 50 milliliters of vinegar. All my cups are labeled now. Now I can turn the screen down. Please ignore that I am using my grooming table as the basis for my table right now. And obviously I did not do a good job cleaning it up. It's pretty hard to get hair through the texture of it when you're using a cloth. So sometimes there's a little bit of residue. All right. So now we can see salt water. So I should always start with water. So water is our control. Then we have salt water, vinegar, baking soda water. I'm also going to label them in the order of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go back to our instructions. Okay, so we already did 2 tablespoons of baking soda mixed with the 50 milliliters of water. And my salt water, I have yet to add my 2 tablespoons of salt. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. I don't have a tablespoon right now, so I am just going based on what I remember a tablespoon to be, because I know that's not going to affect the experiment very much. Okay, and then you need a bag of gummy bears. All right, so now we are starting on step 1, make observations. Okay. In this experiment, we will be working with candy gummy bears. For the first step of the scientific method process, complete 4 observations about the gummy bears in the boxes below. Okay, now in the teacher instructions, it says that it says to use the same color of gummy bear, which if you have the same color of gummy bear, go for it. However, I only have this one bag. It did say to avoid yellow, so I'm assuming yellow means the clear one is probably not the best one either, so I'm definitely going to take that one out. And then one of those orange ones out. Okay. Now, that would be breaking the constant, right? We want to have only one constant, which we talked about with the making the scientific method variable foldable and the scientific method process foldable. However, I don't have that right now, and we ordered these, so it'll be okay, because I really do not think that the color is going to play much of effect in how fast the color disperses, or if it does disperse. So I'm keeping that in mind. All right. So my observations. My gummy bear are a little less than an inch big. My gummy bears. They're kind of hard. Kind of hard. That one smells like orange. That one smells like cherry. That one smells kind of like lime, but kind of doesn't really have a smell. And they're a little sticky. I don't know why they're sticky. I just got them out of the bag. Okay. That would be the observations that I would write in my 4 boxes, either on the sheet or in your notebook. All right. I can also make observations about my liquids. Water is clear, translucent. My salt water, not all of the salt fully dissolved. Vinegar is clear, translucent, and my baking soda mixed with water, some of the baking soda didn't dissolve yet either. All right. Step 2, ask a question. What kinds of things do you wonder about gummy bears? In this step, the scientific method, we will ask a question that will lead and guide us through the experiment. Sorry, I'm reading it upside down. So that's why it's taking me a little longer. So what questions do you have? And remember, they can't be yes or no questions. So a couple of the questions from the in-person group was, which liquid will dissolve my gummy bear the most? Or I think that baking soda will turn my green gummy bear clear and the water green, etc. You use yours. The one I am going to use is I'm going to go with which liquid will make the gummy bear's color come out the fastest. All right, so that's what I'm writing for step 2. Step 3, now I need to form a hypothesis. So in Science Explorers, I am not requiring you to write if-then statements. However, if you are in 6th grade, it's probably best that you start writing it, 6th or 5th grade. And for a reminder of what that is, go back to the scientific method and variables foldable. Okay. What do I think is going to happen to the gummy bears during the experiment? How do I predict that it will turn out? I think that green, well, we're not doing colors. I think that vinegar, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go with vinegar. I think that vinegar will pull out the color the fastest, and salt water be second fast, and baking soda water be third fast. And I think the only thing that's going to happen with water is my gummy bear is going to inflate. If we were writing mine in an if-then sentence, I would say, if my gummy bear's color is dissolvable in a liquid, then it will dissolve in vinegar the fastest. Because I have background knowledge that vinegar is an acid, it tends to break things down fast. Baking soda is actually more basic. Water doesn't typically dissolve things if they are compressed like this. And I don't think it will in 2 days either. And salt water is known for being hypertonic, which means that it's going to pull the water from this gummy bear out into the solution around it. And I think when that happens, the color will go with it. Okay, so I am going to use one of my orange ones here. And I'm going to put that one in water. Then I'm going to put red in salt water and green in vinegar and baking soda. Okay. Next step, step 4, design the experiment. What are the steps needed to complete this experiment? Step 1, we had to make our liquids. Step 2, now we need to drop our gummy bears into their designated cup. Water, salt water, vinegar, and baking soda. Step 3, I am going to wiggle it some just so I make sure that those solutions get a little mixed up more with the gummy bear. Okay, with step 3, now I need to take observations of what the gummy bears look like now that I've stuck them in their liquid. Then okay. So make observations and collect data. Because we set up the experiment here. Now we're doing the experiment. Then step 5, I need to answer my hypothesis, answer my question. Okay, next page. Step 5, do the experiment. Next, follow the steps designed for the experiment. Be sure, remember the following tips performing experiments. Next, follow the steps designed for the experiment. Be sure to remember the following tips for performing experiments. Maybe that's where we were supposed to take notes on something and I didn't see that. I don't know. For that, what I did with the in-person class is I just had them use this for either extra room on the before, after, and change, or write my steps from the other page in. Okay, so again, if you're doing this in a notebook, then your step 6 chart you want to draw. With your chart, it was important that we section this off into 4. Because we have 4 different cups. There we go. We have 4 different cups. So I also need to label 1, 2, 3, 4, which means that on my because this is my observations. So I need to label what 1, 2, 3, and 4 are. That's a great tip. Maybe I should put that there. Okay, so my 1 is water. 2, salt water. 3, vinegar. 4, baking soda water. Now I know what my numbers stand for when I take observations. All right, so now I'm going to observe. I have noticed that my gummy bears are a lot shinier than they were before. Ah, my gummy bear's stuck. Trying to get it where you can see. Wrong direction. You see this direction. Okay. Salt water. Water, water. My water kept falling down. It's too slippery. Stay. Stay, gummy bear. Stay. Bad gummy bear. Okay, well, my water gummy bear is not going to let you see him. Okay, so before, shiny surface for all of them. Currently, none of the liquids have changed color. So liquid clear. All right, so now I am supposed to wait 2 days to take the after one. However, I think it's cool in that you can start to see some results within an hour. So that's up to you. The in-person one we're doing is they are waiting a week to find out they're after. So however you want to do that. There's my observations. Shiny surface, the liquid was clear. Oh, I should mark what color my gummy bear was because that was different. My gummy bear is orange in my water, red in my salt water, and green for vinegar and baking soda. Not saying the bear behind it is an example of not taking good, concise data, because if I just say red, what's red? Okay. So this is where we wait, and then we take next, we will take our our after results. After results, that is observations that we're taking. Then next is change. Change is actually analyzing data. So if you're looking at the foldable, this is where your analyzed data is. What was the change from before and after? What happened? That's what you write here. Then we need to make a conclusion. Did we get an answer to our question? Now remember, you are not right, wrong, correct, or incorrect in science. That there's just no one right way. There's many different right ways. One thing that could go wrong in this experiment is that I am not using all the same color of gummy bear. So that's possible. Typically in my conclusion, I also write what I would do differently if I was to do it again. And I summarize what happened. Were there any patterns in my data? So if your prediction was supported by your after evidence, then I just say that my data was supported. Now, if my hypothesis did not happen and it didn't happen the way I wrote that I thought it was going to happen, again, that's okay. I just say that my data was not supported. Okay, and then here are the 7 steps of the scientific method. And then what's the purpose of the process of scientific method? Why do we do it? And you will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is based on the foldable, but there are other ones in here, like number 7, that's not on our foldable. And that is to make it replicatable and test it again. Okay. It's only going to be a few seconds on the video because I'm going to add the after video later after mine is complete.